and welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another English live stream. We're here to help you improve your English, and today we have a grammar focus. So if this is your first time watching, you're very welcome. My name's Craig from mansioningles.com, where you can study English on the website. If you're a Spanish speaker, it will help you a lot. And there's also a podcast at inglespodcast.com. If you want to listen while you're doing something else, then go to the website or listen wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to practice your speaking, go to englishcraig.com, where I can help you with my conversation courses. So that's me. I'd also like to introduce over there my good friend and ex-colleague Lynne from putitlikethis.com. Hi, Lynne.
Hi, Craig. Yeah, so thank you. And if for people who are joining for the first time, my name is Lynne. My website is putitlikethis.com. I'm an online English teacher, and I kind of specialize in making tailor-made courses for you. So if you have a specific objective in English, it could be to pass an exam, or it could be just to use English to go on holiday, or it could be that you want to improve your pronunciation, or it could be that you want to make presentations in your work and feel more confident. So people come to me with a specific objective, and then I create a course to try to help them achieve that objective. I say I like to try to help you find your own voice in English. So if you're interested in those kind of courses, then you can look on my website, putitlikethis.com. You can also contact me via the website, and you can find out more information there. Mm-hmm.
So that's who we are, and we'd like to know who you are. So if you're joining us live, please say hi in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and we would like your participation during the next hour, because we're going to look at some grammar and we want you to practice it. So what's the topic today, Lynne?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all about practice. So we really, you have to get your hands on that keyboard today.
Get your hands dirty today.
Get your hands dirty. So today we thought we would look at gerunds and infinitives. And Craig said the title of this is You Tell Us, because you're going to practice the gerunds and infinitives. Fortunately, Craig and I know them because we grew up with them.
Yes.
And we never had to learn the grammar of gerunds and infinitives. We learned it by just listening and repeating. And I think with gerunds and infinitives, that way is still very valid. The more you are exposed to English, the more you hear it, the better you will be. But of course, most people who study English are not living in an English-speaking country. So you're not surrounded by English all the time. And that's why you need grammar, because grammar gives you a shortcut when you're not being surrounded by the language all the time.
Exactly. And people are starting to join us. We'll say hi in a second. But if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the video replay. And we will see your comments. So also participate if you're watching the replay after this goes live. Hello to Mary Carmen, Javi from Valencia, I think. Steph is with us. And Tabi, my friend Tabi from Hungary. Hi there. Priscilla,
Tabi.
good to see you there. And Concha, lots of
Concha
friends in the
again.
chat. Yeah.
Priscilla Yanis. From Germany. Okay. Michaela from Italy.
Hi,
and
Michaela.
Paula from Argentina. So we're all very international today. That's great.
Multinational class. Lovely to see you all. So yes, now gerunds, infinitives. Now there are some guidelines, I don't want to say rules, but some things that will help you to choose whether, when you have two verbs together, whether the second verb needs to be a gerund or an infinitive. A gerund is an ing verb, like going, having, seeing. So ing, that's a gerund. And the infinitive of the verb is the verb with to before it. So to eat, to go, to see, to play, etc. So there are some things that can help you decide whether you need the second verb to be a gerund or an infinitive. And then there are some verbs where it's a bit of a lottery. You just have to learn them. So very quickly, we're going to help you with these guidelines, the easy ones, and then we're going to kind of test you and see if you know whether you're going to use a gerund or an infinitive after the verb. So Lynn, what about these guidelines that can help people to use gerunds, infinitives effectively?
Well, the easy one is when the gerund is the subject of the sentence, right? So, for example, if you say something like exercising is good for your health, or you can say smoking is bad for you. Now, in these sentences, you're thinking, like, for example, I think of a noun. So I could also say, instead of a verb like exercise, I could say spinach is good for you. Or I could say chocolate is good for you. And words like chocolate or spinach, they are nouns. All right. They describe things. And so when we use the verb and we feel that it's like a thing and we begin the sentence of it, then it's like a subject. Then we use the gerund form. So we say exercising is good for your health. To smoke is the verb, but we say smoking is bad for you.
It's a shame chocolate isn't good for you because I eat so much of it. I would be the healthiest man in Spain if chocolate was healthy for you. But unfortunately, eating chocolate, there's the gerund, eating chocolate. Too much chocolate is not good for you. Another thing that will help you choose the gerund after prepositions. So you know what a preposition is. Those are the little words that are so annoying because they're often not the same in your language. So in, on, about, under, above,
Off, out.
off, out, in. All those prepositions, if you put a verb after that preposition, then it's going to be a gerund. Here are some examples on the screen. I'm interested in, that's the preposition, taking an exam. So we don't say, I'm interested, take an exam, or I'm interested to take an exam. Okay? I'm interested in taking an exam. Or I'm thinking of going to India. So going is the verb, of the preposition. Automatically, it needs to be a gerund. So that's our second guide for you. After prepositions, use a gerund. What about infinitives?
Okay.
What do we have for infinitives?
Well, some adjectives are always followed with the infinitive, right? So when in this sentence, when we say it's difficult, so difficult is the adjective. It describes how something is, what the properties is. It's difficult. And this is an adjective. So after the adjectives, we follow with the infinitives with to. So it's difficult to speak Chinese. Or you could say, how lovely to see you. So after the adjective lovely, then we follow with the infinitive to see you, right? So this is another quick rule for you. Previously, we said if you hear a preposition up, on, af,
Uff.
in, no, af doesn't exist. Up, on, of,
After.
out, after, about. If you have a preposition, then it's ing. And if it's an adjective, it's often to. So it's difficult to speak Chinese, or how lovely to see you.
Okay, so after some adjectives, most adjectives actually. Another thing that might help you is when you are giving a reason or a purpose for doing something, it's called the infinitive of purpose. The difficult thing with this one is that it might be different in your language. I know it's not the same in Spanish, But in English, if you're giving the reason for doing something, you would use the infinitive. Look at the examples here. Why are you watching this live stream? What's the reason? What's the purpose? You're watching it to improve your English. Why did she leave early? She left to avoid the traffic.
Now, if you're a Spanish speaker, I think that's one of the most common mistakes that Spanish speakers
Because
make.
it doesn't translate directly.
Because in Spanish, you translate with like para,
For
and
to.
and then you go for, and actually, a lot of Spanish people intuitively think, for is a preposition, so now I need ing. So you're actually following the rules properly, but the problem is we do not use for when we mean purpose. So we always say I'm watching this live stream to improve my English. I noticed that there was a German, somebody from Germany, Janis, I think, is in Germany at the moment.
Yeah.
And if you're a German speaker, Janis, in Germany, this is German when you use this zu. That's quite a nice structure because zu can be translated as in order to. In order to. And that's a very good strict translation. And because often in English, we can also say, I'm watching this live stream in order to improve my English. And a lot of English people just go, forget the in order. I'm watching this live stream to improve my English. But what they really mean is in order to improve my English. So maybe the Spanish speakers too, when you are thinking para and you're not sure, see if you can say in order to. And if you can, then the word you need is to. Yeah. And you can ignore the in order. That's a little tip for Spanish people. Okay. So I'm watching this live stream in order to improve my English, or she left early in order to avoid the traffic. That's very heavy. So we just get rid of the in order and we say, I'm watching this live stream to improve my English. She left early to avoid the traffic.
So those are 4 tips for you. Gerund after prepositions and as the subject of the sentence, and infinitives when you want to explain the purpose of something or after some adjectives. However, now it gets a bit tricky. We're going to show you some verbs on the screen, and we want you to write a sentence using the verb and then a gerund or an infinitive. So the verbs you will see will either take the gerund or the infinitive. You need to decide which one and also write an example sentence. Let me give you an example. We had the verb avoid, to avoid the traffic, but what happens if you get a verb after avoid? Well, it's a gerund. So any verb after avoid is always an ing verb. For example, to avoid getting stuck in traffic. Get is the verb, ing. Avoid getting stuck in traffic. Avoid doing my homework. Avoid paying too much money. Avoid seeing my friend in the bar. So any verb after avoid, ing. That's the idea. We'll show you a verb.
And it may be, if sorry,
Go ahead, Lynne.
if you just look at that, if you're thinking now, wow, I'm getting a bit lost or anything, because of course we're explaining grammar, we're not writing it down for you. But what's happening here is that the sentences that we are making are increasing in complexity. Because if you look at that sentence, I left early to avoid getting stuck in traffic, you actually are making a sentence there with 3 verbs. Do you see that? I left early, that's describing the action. And now we have to start making decisions, because how are we going to put the any verb after the first one? You've got to make a decision. So the first decision here is I left early, and then of course it's purpose, in order. So I left early in order to avoid, right? So that one's to avoid. And then what Craig is talking about now is that we have certain verbs that if you follow them with something, there is a rule, and avoid is always followed by ing. So I left early to avoid getting stuck in traffic.
But that's something you have to learn. You have to learn that avoid is followed by a gerund, because it doesn't fit
There's no
the
rule.
guides that we mentioned earlier. So let's get going with the first one then. Here it is on the screen. Remember, we need you to use this, follow it with a verb, write a sentence in the chat. So you can use the positive, I feel like, or you can use the negative, I don't feel like. If you don't feel like something, you say, I didn't use a verb, that means you can't be bothered, you don't fancy something, you don't want to do something. So obviously want to is followed with an infinitive, want to do, want to go. But what about feel like? What do you think?
So can you write some sentences? And in the meantime, Craig and I are trying our best not to say that sentence and give you the answer.
but I really feel like it. Has anybody answered yet? No. Oh,
Not
Marlene.
yet, but
Hi, Marlene.
Marlene has come back in.
Good to see you.
There we are. We've got one. There we go. Yanis. And he's quite right. Yanis has written, I don't feel like working today.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Oh, you say neither. I say neither.
I always say neither. And you say neither. Me neither. I don't feel like working today. And Yanis is correct, because after the word like, we follow with the ing form. Here's Dana, and she says, I don't feel like going out right now. Perfect.
Is it raining, Dana, where you are? Is that why you don't feel like going out right now? I know
No, it's because she feels like watching our live stream and learning English. She feels like learning English right now. That's what's happening there.
I know there's someone here from Guillermina from Alicante. I hope you're okay. Has it stopped raining there in Alicante? It was terrible before with the rain in your area of Spain. Marlene says, I don't feel like going back home. I would prefer to walk by the sea. Very nice.
Very
nice.
Yes,
correct.
Yes. Well done. Okay,
Well done.
So feel like is great.
My example, I don't feel like studying today. So feel like doing something or don't feel like doing something. So well done if you answered that. Let's give you another one. Promise. Is that followed by a gerund or an infinitive? Again, write an example sentence. If you practice it, it will stick in your head. So have a think. Promise. You can make a promise, you can keep a promise, and you can break a promise. But what happens if promise is followed by a verb?
Michaela has written something, which is very good. If you can put it up. She says, I promise to do my best. And that's correct. Well done, Michaela. So promise is followed by to. I promise to do my best.
I promise to work hard. I promise to... What was my example? I promise to do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Are we getting a lot of I promise to study more? That's because that's what you always say to your teachers, isn't it? I promise to study more.
I promise to do my homework this week. I promise to write you back. Yes.
That's good. That's lovely.
Dana, I promise to call you later.
Perfect.
And Concha, I promise to study more. Very good. Yeah. So
Great.
everybody correct. So far we
You're doing
are
very well.
10 out of 10 for everybody. Agree. What do you think about agree? The opposite, of course, disagree, which has the same verb pattern, so it doesn't matter if it's agree or disagree. But is it a gerund or an infinitive? The noun of agree is agreement, so you can be in agreement with someone. But what do you think about the gerund infinitive with agree?
So while you're writing, we've got a couple more from promises that are quite nice. He has promised to tell me the truth, says Marie Carmen. And Priscilla promises to come back to your courses, Craig. So there you are. That's great.
We miss you. We miss you. We had a lovely group in November, and we miss you. So in January, Priscilla, I'm going to take a break in the new year, but in January there will be more courses. So it would be lovely to have you in the new year if you're not too busy. We agreed to share our cars.
Good. We agreed to share our cars. Great. That's a good one.
Sabi, we agreed to do promises. I would say make promises.
Make promises, yes. We make promises, break promises. So we agreed to and keep them. So make, break, and keep with promises. So we agreed to make promises. Ilav is agreeing to visit you next summer.
Oh, that's nice. Good.
That's good.
Hello, Hema. Hema's with us. Good to see you
Hi,
here,
Hema.
Hema.
That's nice to see you again, Hema. And Hema totally agrees with us, but that was clever, Hema, but you're not following it with a verb.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit. So if you have a verb after agree, is it a gerund or an infinitive?
And then Dana, Yanis says they agreed to meet the next day. Lovely. That's nice. And I agree to buy a new house.
Oh,
great.
Yeah, good example.
Yeah. So that's good. Everybody's doing well with agree.
What was my example? You agreed to do it yesterday. Yeah. Of course, you can conjugate the verb. You can make it in the past, make it in the future. But as long as you use the infinitive, you're good to go. Let's have another one. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Also, now, enjoy actually has another problem. This is you just focus on whether you're going to follow it with an infinitive or a gerund. But while you're writing, I want to remind everybody that enjoy always has to have something after it. It always has to have an object. That's very, very important. That might give you a clue about whether it's a gerund or an infinitive, actually.
But if you use a pronoun and you say, I enjoy it.
But that's something.
You need to put the adverbial expression at the end of that. So I enjoy it a lot, or I enjoy it very much. A mistake I hear very often with Spanish speakers especially is I enjoy very much it, or I enjoy very much films. Well,
I hear a lot of people in Spain saying, I enjoy. And you can't just say enjoy. You have to say, do you enjoy it? or did you enjoy it? So enjoy always has to have something after it. Okay, we've got some nice examples, and I think everybody's doing really well here because it's all correct. You're going to flash some up?
So the first one's Concha. I enjoy playing paddle. Yep. Do you play inside, Concha, or outside? Because with the rain we've been having, I'm wondering if you're able to play if you play outside. I don't know if you play paddle. I know there are some outside courts, but if you play outside, then obviously the rain's going to. But
there are inside. There are indoor courts too, I think.
Yeah, I think there are. Yeah. Michaela says she enjoys hanging out with friends. Nice phrasal verb there, to hang out with friends. I enjoy cooking healthy food.
Good. And if I can just remark here, this is what I was saying about the little clue that it is, because cooking healthy food is like a concept, isn't it? It's something that's going on. It's like a noun. And that in that sense, I enjoy something. I enjoy cooking healthy food. That makes logical sense, I think, that it's a gerund with the word enjoy.
Exactly. Hello, Isabel. Isabel's here. I enjoy going for a walk with my dog. Very good.
Lovely.
Perfect. Yeah. Yanis, we all enjoy listening to you. Thank you. We enjoy having your company.
We
Sabi
do.
says, I enjoyed swimming yesterday. Perfect.
Lovely.
Maddie Kunmin, I enjoy dancing tango very much. I tried to learn tango for many years. I was terrible at it. I gave up. So I'm very envious that you enjoy dancing tango and you can dance tango.
Priscilla really enjoys cooking every weekend. What else have you
Yes,
got? Yeah.
Isabel, very good. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it very much. Make sure
Lovely.
that verb is at the end.
Perfect. Great. And Concha says, Dana enjoys practicing yoga.
I really enjoy listening to your live stream. Thank you.
Hema enjoys listening to podcasts every day.
Listening to, remember the two there, Hema?
Yeah, she corrected it later. It was a typo.
Oh, okay.
Concha, I play indoor and outdoor. It depends on the weather. That's
okay, yeah. So she's obviously indoor at the moment.
Great.
Well done. Well, I'm very, very impressed because so far it's 100% from everybody. And I didn't expect that. So expect, what happens with this verb when it's followed by another verb? Gerund or infinitive?
And you can make your sentence with I expect, or I don't expect, or I didn't expect.
And when you say I expect, there's kind of an intrusive, there's a y sound that goes in the middle. So it's I expect, I expect.
Yanis has a little quick question there. He's saying, is it indoor or outdoors? I think we accepted it when Concha said, I play indoor and outdoors, because I thought she wanted to say, I play indoor and outdoor paddle. So if you make it an adjective like indoor or outdoor, then it doesn't have an S, right? So if you put it before a noun, indoor paddle, outdoor paddle. But if you don't have the noun and you just want to say, I play indoors with an S, or I play outdoors. So it depends if you follow it with a noun about whether it has an S or not.
I would say because of the rain, I'm staying indoors.
I'm staying indoors.
I'm staying indoors with the S. In the doors, inside the doors. Okay, we've got some lovely answers here. Michaela says, I expect you to introduce me to your new boyfriend soon. Now, that's quite a complicated sentence, isn't it?
That is, but you've got everything perfect there. I expect you to introduce me to your new boyfriend soon. I haven't got a boyfriend, Michaela.
Neither have I. Marlene has a nice sentence as well. I don't expect you, so there's the object there after the verb, to understand how I feel. So expect someone to do something.
So you guys have just been, you're adding, there's another level of complexity there because you're using the pronoun, and you're quite right that the pronoun comes between the verb and the infinitive. So you're doing really well there.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay.
Another example here from Ilab.
He says, I didn't expect to spend, you need the infinitive. Spent is the past participle. But that's just a typo. So I didn't expect to spend so much time on that. Not so many time. Time is uncountable. So we have to say much, not many. So I didn't expect to spend so much time on that. But you've definitely got it right that it's followed with an infinitive. That's correct.
Yeah. You can say so many hours or so many minutes because they are countable. But
yes. But time, which is very counterintuitive. I hate it when I have to say in the class, everybody, time is not countable, because the only thing everybody counts all the time is time.
Yeah.
It's just, it makes no sense. But when we say time is uncountable, it's grammatically uncountable. In real life, we count every minute. Every minute counts.
Even though it's an intangible concept, maybe. But anyway,
Exactly.
that's a bit off topic. I expect to get a promotion. Perfect. Well done, Dana.
Lovely. That's it.
And Maddie Carmen. Hi, Maddie Carmen. Good to see
Hi,
you here,
Monica.
Mummin. I expect to receive your answer. Perfect.
I
Well done.
expected to receive your answer.
I expect to be better very soon. Lovely.
Lovely.
I'm sorry you're
That's
sick.
great.
Isabel, I expect to do the English speaking course soon. You're more than welcome, Isabel. The next one will be in January. So make sure you're on the email list at englishcraig.com and you'll receive the dates in January. And hi, Orchidia. Good to see you. I expect to win the lottery next Christmas. No, next Christmas. I expect to win the lottery. Well, good luck.
I wanted to say good luck, Orchidia, but you get in the queue. I'm first.
I like your positivity and your optimism is very impressive. Your optimism is wonderful. I'd be happy with a Christmas present. Not
well, is it? I don't know how to pronounce the name. Is it Sebo? How do you pronounce?
Sabid. Call him Sabid.
Sabid.
He likes Sabby.
Sabby. Okay. Sabby expects to be given a bar of chocolate. Yeah. So that's because you're getting them right. Well, ask Craig. He's the chocolate eater.
Sabby, when you come to Valencia, I will give you a paella and a bar of chocolate for dessert. No problem there.
And Sabby's, sorry, if you can just put Sabby's up again, because I like his sentence because it's even more complex. Sabby has followed expect with the passive infinitive. So we have infinitives like to give, to dance, to think, but some verbs we can make passive infinitives. So it's in this case to be given, that somebody else gives to me. So I expect to be given, and that's perfect. That's a more complex thing though, yeah, but we have infinitives and we have passive infinitives too. Well done.
Well done, Sabby. I don't know why I put this one in the past. It should be with just the infinitive. Decide. Remember, if you do use the past of decide, decided, you need to add that extra syllable because it ends in a d sound. So if you're going to say, I've decided, make sure you're pronouncing that extra syllable. Do your students have problems with ed ending sometimes?
Yes. Yeah. But but I mean, once you get the hang of it, anything that ends in a D or a D sound or a T, so if it ends in a D or a T, then you just have to add the extra syllable ut. And then there's a couple of rules. The others, you just swallow the syllable and you try to produce something. And I just tell my students, just try to produce it. There are actually two sounds we can produce, but often English people can't tell the difference. And naturally, you will produce the sound that you're supposed to have. So the only thing you need to remember with ed endings, in my opinion, is if it finishes with a d or a t, then you have to go ud.
I agree 100%, and that's exactly what I tell my students as well. Just getting them to remember the d and the t is difficult enough.
Yeah, because sometimes in course books they start telling you other rules about the three different pronunciations. Literally, just have two and you'll be fine.
Decided, ended, started. What else? What other ones are there? Extended. Wanted.
There you are. You got them all.
Okay, let's see if we've got any answers. We've been chatting away. Decide.
So Michaela, I think, was first.
Michaela.
Lovely. And she's written, we were too tired to go to the gym, so we decided to give it a miss. And Michaela, that's lovely. And look there. She's actually been very clever. Look at all the verbs, first of all. We've got one verb were. We've got one verb to go, we've got one verb decide, and we've got one verb to give it a miss. That's 4 verbs now. So we're getting very good here.
And the
And look
expression
at the
give it a
beginning.
miss.
We were too tired. Tired, adjective, right?
Hmm.
We were too tired. Adjective, we have the rule. So then we need to go. We were too tired to go to the gym. So we decided we have to know, and she's got it right. Decided is always followed with to give it a miss. To give it a miss is to not go.
Well done. Yanis says they decided not to go on holiday after all. Well done for using the
Well,
negative there with not.
yeah, and notice everybody where you put the not, because Yanis has got it right. They decided not to go on holiday. Okay, so you can put the not before the infinitive. Think of it as making a negative infinitive, not to go.
Marlene's luckily, you've got the job in Ireland. Fantastic. I've decided to relocate to Ireland. You will be very happy there, I'm sure.
And where, Marlena? Where does Marlena live? Where do you live,
She's
Marlena?
from
Are you
Italy,
from
but
Italy? I thought
she's
so.
in Malta, but she's in Malta
Yeah,
though.
that's what I thought. You're in
Yeah.
Malta. Oh wow! So
Ireland's
you're
very different to Malta.
globe-trotting. You're globe-trotting, Marlena.
Good luck with your new position. Mamen says, I decided to continue. Aha, you've got decided right. So well done with that. Congratulations.
But you're upping the complexity because you've got 3 verbs in there. You've got decide, continue, and listen.
And what happens after continue?
What happens after continue? And I think we have our first little error. But that was a complicated one.
Yeah. So after continue, we need a gerund. Continue listening to you. Continue going, continue doing, continue seeing. So continue is a verb that takes the gerund.
So just listen again, because you need, when you have these sentences correct, the way, I don't know how you tell your students to tips on how they can learn them. And what I tell my students is, because when Craig and I were small, we learned this. We never learned gerunds and infinitives. You learn it by hearing it. So my proposal is, when you make a mistake, like this is the first mistake we've got, I decided to continue listening to you. If you want to remember that, you can write it down, of course, but the best thing to do is if you can repeat it aloud a lot. So sometimes I encourage my students to put their corrected errors on a piece of paper, to put the piece of paper in a plastic folder, and to take it in the shower, stick it on the shower wall. And every morning when you're showering, you say, I decided to continue listening to you. I decided to continue listening to you. I decided to continue washing myself.
I decided to shower with my grammar today.
There you are. I decided to shower with my grammar today. But the thing is, the reason I tell people to do it in the shower is because often we feel embarrassed, don't we? Like speaking aloud. But the best way to learn this part of grammar is to hear. And then the more you hear, then if you hear somebody saying, I decided to continue, listen, you go, that doesn't sound right.
Nice example.
This is a one to do, I think.
Nice example from Denya. I decided to study chemistry. Perfect. I decide, I would probably change that because it sounds strange in the present simple. I decide. I mean, usually we use the present simple if something is repeated, if it's a habit, something you usually do. Like I study chemistry regularly. But with a decision that you make, usually it's in the past. It's usually in the past. So I decided to study chemistry, or I've decided with present perfect. I have decided. Tabi says he decided not to go to bed early.
Good. That's with the not again.
Well done. I decided to continue listening to you. Thank you, Mammy.
Thank you. Great.
Emma, I decided to buy a new book to read. Very good.
Again with I decided, not I decide.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't notice that. I decided.
That's all right. It might just be a typo as well. And then,
yeah, she corrected it. I decide to, Marlene's not in Ireland yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, I hope so soon too. Isabel, I decided to switch my heating on today. I also like the way Isabel has separated her phrasal verb to switch on. So you can also say, I decided to switch on my heating, or you can put the heating, the object, in the middle of the phrasal verb. I decided to switch my heating on today, or I decided to switch it on today.
Great.
Very good.
Lovely.
Let's
That's
change. What's the next one? Ooh.
Fancy, isn't it?
Or don't fancy.
Oh, don't fancy.
Now, fancy.
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, you go on.
I wanted to say fancy has a couple of uses, a couple of meanings. Here I mean we had feel like before. So I mean here the meaning of fancy or don't fancy is feel like or don't feel like. You can use fancy when you're attracted to someone. In British English, colloquial British English, you can say, I really fancy her, I really fancy him, I'm attracted to him or her. But that's not the meaning here. The meaning is the verb I fancy, I feel like, or if you're a Spanish speaker, I know many of you are, me apetece. So
I think that's the
gerund or
same
infinitive.
though, isn't it, with the person or not?
No, I don't think you'd say me apetece in Spanish. You wouldn't say me apetece a él or a ella.
Me
You wouldn't.
apetece.
I don't think you would.
No.
You might use it for food, but not for a person.
Well, maybe that's what you want with the person afterwards. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It's like the idea that you really like, you want to consume that person.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, fancy or don't fancy?
We've got some answers coming in. Yanis says that she fancies going to the cinema tonight. Is it a question though? Do you fancy going?
Yeah, but that's a colloquial question where we ellipse the do you.
True.
You go,
Yes.
fancy going to the cinema tonight? And that's very colloquial. That's good. Or you could say, do you fancy?
Michaela, I fancy going to a Chinese restaurant to eat sushi. I prefer a Japanese restaurant, to be honest. You can eat sushi at a Chinese restaurant, but will it be good? Isabel has cleverly avoided using a verb after fancy.
You just said something, Isabel. That's cheating, but good
You've
try.
got fancy plus noun, not fancy plus verb. But
I fancy a cold beer.
the sentence is correct. So I fancy one too. I fancy doing my homework outdoors. Yes.
That's right.
Negative from
Yeah.
Hema.
I don't fancy going to the supermarket right now. Me neither. Yeah.
And
Great.
Tabby, I don't fancy hanging out in shopping malls. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
yeah,
Now, I think as well, I often teach students, I don't know if you do too, Craig, that fancy is to do with your tastes. And you said, like, we have some verbs that are to do with liking or disliking things. And most of those verbs actually follow with a gerund. So I like, I feel like, I enjoy, I fancy.
I love.
I love, I hate. All of those things to do with your personal desires are often followed by ing.
I detest. Yep, all of those verbs, ing.
Okay. Mary Carmen has said, I had fancy listening to you. Now, you're using, if you're going to have the had, then you're trying to make past perfect. So if you're making past perfect, you have to say, I had fancied listening to you. But that would imply that you're not, you don't want to, you changed your mind.
Yes.
I had fancied listening to you, but then I thought, no, I don't want to listen to those two. I'll go to the supermarket instead.
Don't blame you. Question from Yanis. How come you say, that's a nice expression. How come? Why? how come you say neither or neither so differently? Well, you can say it either or either way. Doesn't matter. With either and either or neither and neither, it doesn't matter. There are two pronunciations for the same word. Maybe it's because of the areas of the UK that we're
That we
from.
come from.
I don't know. Do they tend to say neither or neither in your area?
I've
Or?
always said neither. And but some of them, there is a famous song, isn't there, where there's that American British song where it's you say tomato and I say tomato. You say potato and I say patata, which nobody says.
Which nobody says. Yeah.
And then they say either and neither and neither. Yeah, there's a few words where we do say them differently. But if Yanis doesn't know, I'm from the north and Craig is from the south. So that we say a few things differently, don't we?
Yeah.
Like bath and bath.
Bath and bath.
I say bath, he says bath.
Yeah. Isabel, I fancy texting my nephew. There's no preposition after texting. So yes, it's correct with the gerund. I fancy texting my nephew.
My nephew. Okay.
Okay, well done.
Oh, we're
Refuse
doing well.
Refuse.
Refuse.
Is our next one. How many more have we got? We've got
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, we better go a bit quicker then. In that case.
Right, go on then. Refuse.
So refuse. I'm going to rush you. Be quickly. Be quickly. Be quick.
Be quick.
Write quickly. And we'll get through all of these words. So what do you think about refuse? Gerund or infinitive? Refusal is the noun. A refusal. I lost my job at the helium factory.
Sorry?
I'll tell you the joke when people...
Oh, God, he's got a joke again. Please be quick, otherwise we're going to have to suffer Craig's jokes.
I can't tell the joke because the punchline has the gerund or infinitive, so I can't tell the joke.
Michaela has got one.
1 second. I'm going to change my example here so that I can tell the joke. So, Michaela says she refused to take notice of my advice. Correct. So, infinitive after refuse. Well done. Yanis, she refused to give a refund. Perfect. Good example.
That's perfect.
Absolutely. So, I lost my job at the helium factory.
Why did you lose your job at the helium factory, Craig?
I refused to be spoken to in that tone of voice. What happens when you speak helium? You go, when your voice goes high because of the helium? It takes longer for my jokes to hit home with you than it does for the students to write the answers in the chat.
I think they're going to have to watch the replay 5 times to get that joke. Craig's jokes are something else.
They are terrible. Okay, let's move on quickly, I think. Offer is our next verb. So is that followed by gerund or infinitive? Job offer is a collocation. To take someone up on their offer is another collocation. I take you up on your offer. See, Yanis got my joke. She understood it. Offer.
I'm sorry, Yanis. Yanis, you know Yanis, Craig, yeah?
No, I don't. Not personally. I don't think so.
Yanis, I'm sorry, because I've been saying he and Craig is saying she.
Oh,
because
I don't know.
I know somebody who's called Yanis, but it's a boy. And you know somebody who you might have to tell us if you like us to call you he or she. I don't know if we've been calling you the wrong thing.
And do I know you? Yeah, I don't know if I do know you, Yanis. I'm trying to think if I remember the name. More answers coming in. I refuse to put up with this behaviour. Correct. Very good.
Yeah, I think we should refuse to put up with his jokes. Do you reckon?
I think you should. Yeah, they're terrible, aren't they? She offered to help me with my homework. Perfect. Yes.
Good.
He offered to give me a lift.
A
Well
lift.
done.
Well done. She usually offers to go to the cinema.
Yes, very good. And Isabel, I offer you the best after-sales service.
But Isabel, you're avoiding the grammar question
But
because you're
Isabel
giving us the
she is
noun.
very good at avoiding the grammar question. She is very, very good at avoiding the grammar question with good sentences.
Yeah, it was a good sentence though. I offer, but you followed. I offer the best after. I offer you the best after sales service. You're following with a noun. Okay.
Yeah. And here's my example. He offered to help me.
Yeah, perfect.
We offer to give you the best sales service would be with a verb. Next one is hope.
Hope.
Hope. Something that is quickly disappearing in our world, I fear. Short supply at the moment.
Oh, don't say that.
20 years ago, we had Bob Hope, Johnny Cash, and Steve Jobs. Now, there's no hope, no cash, and no jobs. I hope Kevin Bacon's doing okay.
Craig. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But at least I got that one. I didn't have to think twice. I got that one.
So, got any answers coming in for hope?
Hope.
Any hope out there? Please give us some hope. And hope tends to be referring to the future. And I have a theory about gerund infinitives with verbs that tend to look to the future. So let's see if you agree with my
because
theory.
they tend to look towards the intention or the purpose, don't they? They're looking forward.
That's a clue there, isn't it?
That's a clue. I'm giving a clue.
Hemma's got it right. Well done, Hemma. I offer to buy you a new blouse.
Lovely.
Lovely. Good sentence. Elab has taken a leaf out of Isabel's book with avoiding the verb after hope. It's catching. But the sentence is correct.
What you've written there, Elab, I hope, is you've written a relative clause. I hope that you are doing well, and you can eliminate the that, but that isn't following directly after hope.
Yanis, okay. I hope to be quicker to get to the punch.
Yeah, so do I, Yanis. I really hope to be quicker to get the punchline. Yeah, that's a very good one.
Mamin, no, it's infinitive after hope. So I hope to I would say to hear some good news or to hear good news. I hope to hear good news. Me too. Michelo, I hope to be able to get the best from him. Lovely sentence. Very good. And Marlene, I hope to get what you want I hope you get what you want for the new year.
And Marlene, there you've made a relative clause as well. I hope that you get what you want for the new year. So that's not quite the same thing, but the sentence is fine. The sentence is very good.
Tabby says, we hope to take a nice walk soon. So my theory is that verbs like hope, intend, plan, usually
want,
they're usually talking about the future, aren't they?
They're
hope to do something.
Towards
I intend to do something. I plan to do something. So my theory is if the context is the future with the verb, then use the infinitive. I don't know if that's if that always works, but usually it works, I think. I hope to spend a nice Christmas time with my family.
Good.
And Hema says, I hope to finish all the paper soon.
Perfect.
Okay,
Good.
Well done.
All right. We've got 3 left. Can you do them quick?
left.
Why don't we give all 3 in one go, right? So you can pick the verb that you want to have. We've got 4 verbs left, right? So you can choose mind or don't mind, or you could choose miss, or you could choose suggest, or you can choose seem.
I'll put those all together on the same.
Perfect. So if you think you know one, then pop up a sentence, yeah? And you can be checking yourselves whether you get the other ones right or not.
Or all 4 sentences, maybe.
Or all 4 sentences if you can type quickly.
Because we're nearly at the end of our time. So if we can do
We
this.
You've all been super, though. I have to say, you've all been participating really, really well and practicing.
Very
And that's
impressive.
great. And it's nice because I think it's also nice when you see the sentences of other people, because there's been a lot of variety there too. So you're learning from each other. That's fantastic.
Well done.
Okay.
So choose one or all of these, and this
See
will be
what you can do with them.
the last time. And also, please remember those 4 tips we gave at the beginning with the adjectives, the prepositions, gerunds after prepositions, adjectives use the infinitive, subject of the sentence use a gerund, and for the reason or purpose of something use the infinitive. Those are very important tips as well.
They're like 4 building blocks, aren't they? With those 4 rules, you can get a lot of them right. But then, of course, we've got these verbs that we've been practicing where it is something that you have to learn one by one. And as I say, I think the good thing is to try to, if you have a mistake, notice your mistake and focus on your mistakes to try to eliminate them by repetition. Because a lot, I see in the textbooks every year there's a unit. It doesn't matter which level you are. There's another unit which rehashes all of the verbs and the gerunds or infinitives, because this problem goes from A2 all the way up to C2. There's always that in every book. And one of the difficulties, I think, is that the grammar pages present you with whole lists of verbs. And but that's not the way that our brains store them. Our brains store them with an example, a personalized example, and you learn them one by one. So as I say, my suggestion is focus on the mistake, make a personalized sentence, and then get in the shower and keep practicing it aloud. Right, we've got lots of questions. We've got lots of ones up now, haven't we, Craig?
Where are we? Don't mind.
We've got a lot. We've got.
Where shall I start?
Isabel started, I think, with "I don't mind."
Oh yes, Isabel.
Keeping the window open.
I don't mind keeping the window open. Good. Yeah.
Good. And then Michaela, I don't mind you opening the windows. It's hot inside. That's also correct.
And notice you've got the pronoun there.
The pronoun there.
The subject pronoun, the object pronoun. I don't mind you opening the windows. Well done. Yanis, I don't mind suggesting going to the cinema.
The cinema.
Very good. ING.
Concha, I suggest going to the beach tomorrow. Good idea.
Not this weather, surely, Concha.
You don't seem to be missing going to school. Yeah, absolutely. I would hate to go back to school now. What about you, Craig?
Well, maybe as a teacher, I wouldn't mind, but not as a student, no.
Oh, no.
I don't mind understanding your explanation.
Well, you've said mind. I think you've made a mistake. I don't mind. Now, maybe that's a little misunderstanding, Mamen, with the meaning of don't mind. Don't mind means it doesn't matter to me.
No me importa in Spanish.
So it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. And I don't think that's what you're thinking of there.
So I mind understanding is me molesta or me importa. So so it doesn't work because of the context.
Of that context, understanding your employees. Maybe with enjoy, you could say, I enjoy understanding your explanations to improve my English. Maybe that's what you want to say. Okay.
Sabi, she suggested cooking something delicious with her friends. Very good.
Lovely.
Perfect.
Great.
Nice goulash, maybe. I don't mind if you wish to change the design of the poster. Perfect. Very good, Marlene. And Gemma says, I suggest We go for coffee.
Now, that's correct, Hema. That is correct. Because after the verb suggest, there are 3 different patterns that you can follow after suggest. The pattern that you've chosen is fine. It's correct.
Yeah.
But you can also say, I suggest going for a coffee. If you don't want to use the we, if it's obvious from the context when you're speaking, like you're with a group of people and you say, hey, come on, I suggest going for a coffee. Or can I suggest going for a coffee? You might make a proposal. Then you don't need the we. And if you don't need the we, then you follow it with gerund. But what you've written is absolutely fine as well.
Lovely sentence from Michaela, who's used all 4 verbs in the same sentence.
Wow. Okay, I don't mind staying here. I miss my family. So I suggest going back home where we seem
To feel better.
to feel better. Oh, the last verb. After seem, you need the infinitive, where we seem to feel. It seems to be. Seem is followed by the infinitive. But the rest of the sentence seems great.
Everyone seems to be interested, for example. It seems to be raining outside. It appears to be raining. Same verb structure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, well, we hope
Great.
that's been useful for you. And because you seem to be quite engaged and happy with that, I think in the future we'll do a similar live stream with verbs that can take the gerund and the infinitive and what the differences are between using the infinitive and using the gerund. So that's for
And
a
also we've
future
got
stream.
some material as well about the prepositions like adjectives and
Yes.
whether they're followed with a preposition or not, or verbs that are followed with a preposition, because that also influences a lot when we're using the multiple verbs in the sentence.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we can continue. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not next week, because the next class we focus again on topic, because we're doing
Vocabulary. Yeah.
every 2 weeks we might once every 2 weeks we focus on a topic area of English, and then the other class we focus on grammar or vocabulary, like today where we focused on grammar. So you've putitlikethis.com. I have to say goodbye. My name is Lynn from putitlikethis.com. That's my website. I'm an online teacher and I specialize in creating a course for you to help you achieve your individual objectives. So if you're interested, if you go to my website, you get a feel of all the different types of objectives that people have, and maybe your objectives are among them, or maybe not. It doesn't matter, but you can contact me over the website, and then I'll let you know if I think I can help you or not.
Okay, and my name's Craig from mansioningles.com, where if you're a Spanish speaker, you can study English. And also you might want to sign up for our newsletter. We have a free one and we have one on Patreon at mansioningles.com. All of the information is there. And I'll remind you about the podcast, inglespodcast.com, that will help you every week to improve your English. So listen on the website or listen wherever you get your podcasts, maybe on Spotify. Many of you do. And my conversation classes are starting to close because at the moment I'm winding down to Christmas. So I'm slowly finishing the courses, but there will be more in January. So if you'd like more information, go to englishcraig.com, send me an email and we can have a quick chat on Zoom. I'll give you the information for January. So if you are in Spain with this horrible weather we're having, stay safe. Don't go out if it's not necessary, if it's raining very much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, we hope to see you in 2 weeks.
We hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.